Hey, I'm Nathan, but the truth. Y'all, I know I talk a lot about my anger issues, where I actually want to take somebody out their misery and open their throat up. And I'm being honest, I do. You guys, okay? When I'm doing town hall meeting, I will probably have a big 12-inch blade that I love sitting on my hip. And that's not a threat to anybody. Okay, that's just for my personal protection. But that's what I call 9 souls. Okay. Because when I got to 9, I just stopped counting. I get angry sometimes. And back in the day, okay, I never worked with anybody when I dealt with adversaries. Because I remember my grandmother telling me one time, she said, bury your indiscretion deep. I said, what does that mean? She said, go deeper than 6 foot. I said, well, why do people bury folks 6 foot any doggone way? She said, because if you bury somebody 3 foot or 4 foot, the vermin can dig down in the ground. That's as far as they can go. Most vermin aren't going to go past 4 foot and digging for food and bones. She said, them vermin, if you don't dig them deep enough, the vermin will go down in there and dig up them bones. And she said, you got a lot of some bitches in your life right now that's looking to dig up all them bones you bury and scatter them about. That's how they always find anybody. These fools take old Joe out there in the woods, put his ass in the ground. And that's why they say, well, you know, hunters found these bones scattered about. That's because the vermin went down there. Coyotes, raccoons, possums, whatever. As far as they go down there and they dig up them bones. And now you got that body discovered. Okay? And then starts to tell all. And so what my grandmother essentially was saying was, first of all, work alone, because that friend ain't your friend. They gonna sing like a bird when they get an opportunity, and bury it deep, so it's not surfacing. Okay, and that was, man, like with situations, not humans, but with situations, things that you have done in life or whatever, mistakes you've made, and you want to bury them and move on, put them deep enough so that you don't have to keep revisiting it over and over and over again. And so I really think that it's best to know that my mentality toward all that was just that. When I was young, wasn't nothing to me feeling like I needed to bind the son bitch up, taking him on down that country road to the boneyard. Okay? And that's the way a lot of y'all should be. You should have that in you to do away with those problems that you have. You just wrap them up and take them on down to the boneyard, okay? And be done with it and bury it deep, okay? Now, that's just a little PSA, public service announcement, within this powerful video that I'm about to share with you. There are a lot of black folks walking around that do not want you to know your numbers. They don't want you to know who the hell you are. There's a movie out. I didn't see the movie. Be honest with you, I did not see the movie. It's called A Bug's Life. Okay? And probably if I was back in the United States when the movie came out, I would have seen it because I would have watched it with my grandkids. Okay? It's one of those type of movies that you want old man like myself want to sit with his grandkids and watch. But I did get one of the quotes out of that movie. And like I told y'all before, there's codes written to the learned inside of certain movies. And the one that was inside that movie was the ants. Issues concerning the ants, who was being dominated by other bugs. The ants can kill a lion, and they have. Lions have made a mistake of walking onto ant mounds, not realizing that they're surrounded by about several hundred ant mounds. So the ants let you get all the way into the center, and then they attack. And they kill you. There's a place in my home in Ohio called Mohegan State Park. And I went canoeing there, and I got out of the canoe and went to go up the hill. And me and another boy, and we were attacked by these, they look like flies, but they're real huge and they bite you. And so many of them was hitting us that we ran down that hill very fast, jumped into the water, submerged ourselves in the water. They still was biting us, the ones that was clinging to us. Nearly went psychotic at the time when they were hitting me, okay? So let's understand, if it was one that bit me, I would kill him, just like a bee. Bee sting you, you're going to tear his ass up. What if a swarm hit your ass? You're dead. And in bugs' life, they didn't want them ants to know their power. Man, you can't let them know how many of them they are, because it's over for us. Wasp will hit a beehive, and they'll start killing them bees one by one until those bees, if there's another hive, and oftentimes there's several beehives out in the woods, the other hives will move in and just swarm them wasps and kill the wasps. Because there ain't enough of them wasps to handle that number. They could kill them all day long coming out of there one by one. But when them bees get alerted to one hive's under attack, they all come at once. That's it. There's Negroes that sit up and say, oh, there's only like 10% black folks in the United States. That's why I say I'll open that son of a bitch's throat. He'll look at me and ask why. Because see, he has a narrative. That's why. Your narrative is, you don't want me to know just how powerful I am and how many of us it is. I've had some bitches sit up and say, there's more Mexicans than black folks in it. You a goddamn lie. I was out in California just 2 months ago. I seen more black folks than I ever seen Mexicans. And I'm in California, Southern California, down in LA. And even though I was over there in Crenshaw area, I spent a lot of my time out there by the, what is that town? Anyway, it's over there by the base. They call it, it's no longer Los Angeles Air Force Base, it's now called Space Command. Because I spent a lot of time on Space Command. I had to go and do a lot of business matters over there, okay? And so that's wealthy area. None but black folks everywhere. Who wants me to believe and why that that's not the case? So let's recoup. Back in the 80s, early to mid 80s, every Monday, Dan Rather was getting on national TV and stating, well, there's 1 in 4 black men that are doing it. He given the report of the black man. He wasn't talking to us. He's talking to white folks. And then they would say, by the year 2020, whites will be outnumbered in the United States. Y'all remember that. And you're a motherfucking lie if you say that you don't. If you were alive during that time, you know it. White folks talking about the white replacement theory. White folks are outnumbered in this country. And the way they gauge it They use the word POC, people of color, and people not of color, whites. So they throw everybody in there, but they have a breakdown. And that breakdown is 30% black, 20% white. When it gets to that point, they said, in the shift, be 49. Now understand me, not 50-50, 51-49. Whites will be outnumbered in this country. They'll be the minority, they say. They use that word minority because they gauge themselves against melanin. That's what they've been at war with ever since they've been on this earth. People with melanin in their skin. Every country where people had melanin in their skin, they went there and committed genocide. Every goddamn country. Call me a lie, and something bad might happen to you. I'm telling the gospel truth. So now, he's giving the report. Then you had black folks. I seen that heifer y'all used to cling to called Oprah on her show. Well, most black men are either in prison or on drugs or unemployed, and they go that whole lie. And every black bitch in America that would sit up and tunnel that shit, stay the fuck out of Pookie and Ray Ray's way. I'm gonna tell you right now, stay the fuck out of their way. They'll stomp the guts out your black ass because you have been used as a weapon in the white mainstream media to discredit, denounce, and defile the black man. Now you can argue all you want. You must hate black women. No. You must be the one harboring the hate because the fact being, black man has always been made out to be the big brute, the abuser, this and that. No, goddamn. What are we talking about here is how black folks is being abused and beaten and murdered openly by white folks. And for some bitch to sit up and try to blame a black man for that, call the CDC. The lowest in all demographics of being abusive in a relationship is a black man. He's least likely to be an abuser. Don't bring me that domestic violence shit. That's not abuse. Domestic violence is two people fighting. Abuse is an abuser relationship is a one-way situation. One person being the abuser, being the aggressor, being the fighter, being the assaulter. That's abuse. Black men don't fit in that category. Far from it. He's last to be an abuser. So that lie right there, throw it out the window, okay? Sexual assault. 97% of sex crimes in America is committed by white males. 97%. And I said that one time, let's have now, y'all can prove me wrong if you want to. Easy. Because there's something called sex offender registry. Open that son bitch up. I was in Atlanta and I said that. And this sister was, she was on her computer, looking, and she was getting frustrated. She's in Atlanta on the sex offender registry trying to find black faces. And it was frustrating the hell out of her. All these white guys. That was fucking her head up. Because, see, her lie was, I ain't got nobody on my kid. Because, they messed with them. And well, let's see about that. But she'd be the first one to bring a white man in a goddamn house. Okay? And what was it? Boy, that one made me mad. It was 2018, and then it happened again in 2019. 2 times in 2019. Young white man doing sexual acts with little toddler black kids. Videoing themselves. No time served. None. Black women putting their white boyfriend over their kids, and he's performing sex acts on their little 2 and 3-year-olds. Videoing it. 3 cases. 3 of them that I documented. Because they were so open, they did it on the internet. But you want to try to make the black man out to be some great sex offender. Do you know why it was always a rule never to go into prison systems as a sex offender? Because the prison systems at one time was full of black men that experienced sexual abuse. Their moms experienced it, and it was all at the hand of them Klansmen and stuff. So when one of them white motherfuckers went into the penal system down in the South, it was a death sentence to them. Okay, that's what that meant. Nowadays, things are changed quite a bit because the white man has promoted rape and sexual assaults within the penal system as blacks controlling other blacks. Okay, there was a shift there. You do your history and you'll learn that. Okay, so dispel with that. And then saying that black man, so many of us is in prison systems. Well, that's a damn lie too. The majority of inmates in the prison systems are white. Even though there's this uneven balance of judicial imbalance, okay, and they're still outnumbered. But now, if they're going to be either close to or the shift has gone over over and under the 50% mark, what are the real numbers? See, whites will never sit up and get up there and lie and say there's only 10% black. No, because they talk to each other when they give the real numbers, okay? But they won't give the real numbers. They do it in code. So I'm going to give you the real numbers. There's 30% black adults, ADOS. I'm not talking about any foreign dark-skinned folks, okay? They're in the other category, along with the other one is 20% Latino, people coming from south of the border. Now, Asians, we don't count them. They're in that other group, okay? So the other group gave the shift, but there is 30% black, 20% Latinos in the United States. 30%. And if you want to try and challenge the makeup, unemployment, and prisons, let's do that real quick, because that's easy. United States posts, and it's updated daily. How many people are incarcerated in the United States? And when they say incarcerated, they're talking federal prison, plus state prison, plus county, plus city, plus under supervisory care, which is halfway houses, stuff like that. All that's combined. That's the prison system. And when you Google it, how many people are incarcerated in the United States? 2.5 million. More than any other country, which is true, but let's go back to that 2.5 million. I don't care how you break it down, they always let you know 40% is black. That's not a majority. That's a disproportionate in relation to population. Okay? And I'm not going to sit up here and argue disproportionate, who needs to be there and who don't. Okay, that's irrelevant because the numbers I'm getting ready to bring out to you is going to squash all that shit. Let's go on to unemployment. Unemployment right now is 3%. United States, among African Americans, it's 5%. And 5% men, 5% women. But let's just say we even halving that up. 3%. And halving it up on the high side. 3% black men are unemployed in the United States. Some bitch, I'm not lying to you. That's them telling you. Now you tell the white man he a lie, because a black some bitch like you that's listening to this wanting to call me a lie. See a motherfucker like you ain't gonna call that white man a lie. He tell you every goddamn day, 3% black men are unemployed. I don't care if the son of a bitch even said 10%, which it's not. We know it's 3%. But let's do something real easy. Let's take 100 black men, line them up against that goddamn fence. And let's take the ones that are unemployed off that fence. We got a problem. Some bitch been lying on us. Now, the big number. Y'all wanting to go to that prison system. You make up 30% of the U.S. population. There's 350 million people in the United States. Now, it's arguably because they don't like to count the homelessness and those that are here that's illegally, supposedly. So if you went to that 320, because I heard on CNN once, several months back, they were arguing 320, 350, okay? I'm going to do 350 because it's an easier number to deal with. 350 million people in the United States, and 30% are black adults. Y'all, that's 150 million black folks. Close to it. I would say, yeah, because you got 30%, 30 million times 3, that's 90. Okay, and then 50, no, I'm sorry, it's 105 million black folks. That's what 30% of 350 is. 105 million. And now, don't listen to Shanae and Shaniqua and Keisha and all them heifers. Because God don't lie. There's always going to be 50-50. If you Googled right now how many men are in the United States, how many women are in the United States, it would come up 50-50. I don't give a damn what you say. It's 50-50 globally. 50-50. It's that number never goes off course. God don't lie. I know it hurts you some bitches because you want to say more black women than men. You a goddamn lie, some bitch. It's even. Now you got 105 million adults. And we can half in that, and I'll even give you 5 million, and I'll take that 50 million. I mean, black men in the goddamn United States. 50 million. Don't play. Because them motherfuckers, they don't know they 50 million. I'm going to tell them. I'm going to show them. And that bitch Shanae and that some bitch Roderick or Paul or John who wants to sit up and talk like this and act like he's knowledgeable and important, them motherfuckers, you gonna, and they throw it up. Y'all better be careful. Because the real numbers is the real numbers. You can't change that shit. Now you take 2.5 million, and if I give you half of that, and say 1 million is black. Less than 2% of the black male population is incarcerated in any form, shape. So when a son bitch tell you more black men are in prison than walking the street, open his throat up. And the son bitch gonna look at you and say, why? Because then you say, what's your narrative? Because some bitch, you just told a flat out lie that your simple math could have solved. Less than 2% of us are incarcerated of any form. 70% of black people walking this earth don't even know anyone who's been incarcerated in the past 10 years. That means family, friends. Who you know in prison? Who do you know who's an ex-con that you knew then? Okay, you can go out here and meet Joe. Joe may have had a record, but no, you're not. You're not at the bottom of the barrel. So when you see or hear someone make these stupid statements like Shanae made to me one day, and when I got done with Shanae, she was in tears, and everybody thought I was mean to her. Up there talking about all the men I know either in prison or dead or just, and I broke the numbers down to her, and I said, now see, that you just admitted that you at the bottom of the fucking barrel. Because if less than 2% of us is in that undesirable, untouchable crowd, 98% of us is up here. You put a bunch of apples in the barrel, the rotten ones are going to be at the bottom because they can't handle the weight. And so all you telling me is that you are at the bottom. You're in that filth sector. You're the low of the low. You're not up there with the rest of us. You just admitted that, you goddamn self, with your own goddamn mind. And that heifer broke out and started crying because she seen just where I was right. See, some bitch, when you come talking to me and saying these crazy ass shit, most of the folks I know is this. Where the fuck are you at? Because see, I'm way up here. I'm top feeder. Okay? I don't know them down there. I don't associate with that. I don't have that stench on me. And you're admitting to it, which tells me that you're pretty damn low. Why in the hell would I want to have anything to do with you? The real numbers state where I'm at and where you at when you expose your mentality and your life choices. So you guys need to wrap your head around the numbers, because what's happening is Nathan's going after the numbers, and Nathan's going to let them know how powerful you are. Because when I have North Koreans telling me how shocked Kim Jong-un was when he seen them protests in America, how many millions came out, hit the streets, just in those, they use the term province, just in those provinces. How widespread is the numbers of black in America, he asked. They told him, oh my, sir, there's upwards of 40, 50 million. He said, that's an army. That's exactly what he said. That is an army. And that's why that black sumbitch don't want my words getting out. Because that army wants generals. That army is ready to fight. And coons, y'all, they don't want Masters Plantation to go away. And you talking about uniting and fighting against a system that is global. You talking about fighting the devil himself, and them motherfuckers want to continue to lay in devil's bed? It ain't just the devil that's going to be trying to kill my black ass and stop me. It's going to be some of you. Hey, I love you. I am Nathan, and I am back quiet.